Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm here just to give a quick, unedited, raw review of the Last of Us series that HBO is doing. The Last of Us is one of my all time favorite video games. I've been following Naughty Dog for a very long time, and I have played the original on PS3, the remastered on PS4, the remake on PS5, and Part 2. And I have gotten platinum for all the games, so I've completed them to 100%. So here is a honest review of the show from a diehard fan. I've even got some statues of Ellie and Joel there, and the vinyl record back there, which you probably can't see. But I'll cut to the chase. The show has potential. I am intrigued by it. It does not follow the video game one to one. There are some creative differences that I think will be good for the show. Like the opening, I believe it was in the 1960s is when it starts, and it's got some scientists talking about the fungus, or the possibility of funguses transferring to host, and about the world heating up, making it viable for fungus to live in hosts since they can't survive in climates of 94 degrees or higher. So that's how they explain it moving up to us, to where it can infect humans. Then it cuts to 2003, which is one of the first differences, but we knew this before going in. And we get to follow Sarah closely. We get to grow a little bit more attached to her, which makes sense since in the game she's the first character that you play as, and that's how you're supposed to kind of grow attached to her. But since this is a show, they give us maybe 15 minutes of following Sarah as like the main character. The set is not a one-to-one remake of the game either. The rooms are different. Joel has different neighbors. The first infected you see are different. But overall, it was pretty solid. The actors are doing a well job. I don't think as good as the actors from the video game. And one scene in particular, Sarah's death scene, that felt a little lackluster to me. I think Troy Baker did an excellent job in the video game, and Pedro Pascal, I think, could have shown a little bit of more emotion, or I don't know, it didn't hit as hard. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. I think all the other characters fit each other well enough. Let's see. They they changed some things about Robert and why Joel and Tess originally were wanting to kill him. It's also interesting. It seems that Joel still has contact with Tommy instead of not talking to him for many years, because he's trying to get a hold of Tommy, and it's been I think it's 3 weeks since he's last heard from Tommy, but he's trying to figure out a way to go save his brother and make sure that he's all right out in the infected world since he's on the quarantine zone. But him and Tess don't even kill Robert. It's actually Marlene who kills Robert. And then Ellie's also introduced, and Bella Ramsey, I think she's playing Ellie fine. I don't think she looks exactly like Ellie. The closest character who I think captures the appearance the best is probably Marlene. I'm not too sure who the actor for Marlene is. I've not kept that close with the show because I've wanted to try to avoid as many spoilers as possible, because I want to go in blind and with an open mind, and I do plan to give a fairly short review of each episode every week, and maybe if I get a little bit more inspired or this gets some views, I'll probably try to add in some editing to spice it up a little bit more. But like I said, this is just the first unedited raw video, just kind of my reaction and my thoughts. So, first episode ends with them smuggling Ellie and them going to the dark city in the game right before they're about to enter that area. I guess probably a better way to say the way it ends is they just found out Ellie has the cordyceps inside her, and she claims that she's not infected and shows them their bite, and then it cuts to the city. That scene went a little bit differently than it also did in the game, but I think there's nods to the game, and you can definitely see moments that they reference from the game. So I think overall, if you've played the game and you're a fan of it, I think you can enjoy the show as long as you go into it not expecting it to be a one-to-one remake. But I'd probably give this first episode maybe a 7.5 out of 10, and so I think that is a pretty good score. Maybe even an 8, but I think just certain scenes not hitting as hard as they did in the game bumps it down a couple points for me. But I think it has potential. I think I did forget to mention one thing that I really did enjoy was the opening credits where the fungus was spreading all around. That was really good. That was really well done. It was also very interesting to see a new take where the fungus was actually coming out of the mouths, like how ants have it split out of the back of their head. There was an old grandma who she's the first infected that you see, and the little cordyceps spores are starting to come out of her mouth, which was interesting. Anyway, I'm excited for next week. I'm excited to see what they do with this series. I think they are going to do it justice, and it's going to be fun. Getting a new take on the series and getting to go more in depth on certain situations. So I will see you guys next week.